Good afternoon. So, guess what's happening today? Happy holidays and welcome to the December Town of Islip Board meeting. And we're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to ask Councilwoman Mary Kate Mullen to lead us in the pledge. Thank you. I'd like to ask the town board to come up here and join me. It looks like Christmas came a month early for our talented athletic teams in the town of Islip, especially Bayport Blue Point, their football team, the Phantoms. Who took home its first Long Island championship just a few weeks ago on November 25th. Following an undefeated regular season, the Phantoms went on to sweep in their postseason games, securing an unprecedented 11-0 overall season record, a historic first for the team. In the championship game at Hofstra University, the Phantoms went on to defeat North Shore in front of a crowd of more than 2,500. That had to be so exciting. And their final score, 35-7. The Phantom's stellar season is owed to the entire team, players both on and off the field, as well as the entire dedicated coaching staff. Head coach Mike Zafanti, with the assistant coaches Chris Varley, Jim Giattino, Tom Drunkenmiller, Mike Gentili, Rob Orlandi, Jake Kolar, Henry Pelletier, Doug Meehan, and Mike Plugis. So please join me and the rest of the town board, especially Councilwoman Mary Kate Mullen, who has a little bit of a special interest in the team, in congratulating Bayport Blue Point varsity football Phantoms, the Long Island champions. Councilwoman Mullen.
Okay. Thank you, Supervisor. For me, this is such a bittersweet day. It's my last day as a town board member, and to have the team here is just such a great honor. I know so many of you since you were very little boys, and to see you win the Long Island Championship is just an amazing accomplishment. Took a lot of teamwork, a lot of support from the parents and your friends. But to see you guys do it, you said at the beginning of the season that you were going to do it, and to follow through from those practices in August through Thanksgiving morning, you guys did the work, you put it in, and you had the result. And we are so proud of you. You brought the whole community together. The whole town of Islip is proud of you. And coaches, you guys have done a wonderful job. Thank you so much. Have to recognize Brady Clark. He really did a tremendous job this season. He got the Hanson Award, which is truly a wonderful honor. And for all the seniors that are moving on, you guys will have great memories to take with you. And coaches, they really looked out for the younger boys, and we are just so grateful and proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Would the head coach like to say a few words? Don't mean to put you on the spot. Tell them how wonderful they are because they listen to you.
Totally just put me on the spot, but I'm kidding. Not much to say other than thank you for this. Ridiculous. Really is pretty cool. This is a very special group of young men that you have in your presence. None of this is possible without them. They had to do what we asked, and we asked a lot, and they did everything. I mean, we're talking 4-hour practices every day from August, and it didn't seem like that when we were doing it, and they just believed in us, and they're a huge part of this, and the other huge part of this is the coaching staff. You can't do this without the coaches. We had coaches that put just as much time in, both on the field and off the field. Probably the most time I've ever had in a coaching staff put time in wise. If that makes any sense. And of course, we had super supportive parents, which is tremendously huge. They did everything we needed them to do, and we had a super supportive administration. Mr. Mullins is outstanding in getting us everything that we need to make this possible. It's the perfect storm of a lot of human beings, putting in hard work, and it was kind of cool to see it play out the way it did. And they made history, and no one can ever take that away from them. So congratulations, super proud.
They certainly did make history, and Coach, it is very cool, especially for the parents. I have a feeling that you're enjoying this even more than the kids are. Having said all of that, if we can possibly get the team to come forward, Dan is a genius at this. If you could please organize everyone and try and get a group photo. And Councilman Mullen, you want to come down in front and join me? Welcome again all to our December Town Board meeting. The holiday season is truly one of the most wonderful times of the year. And while we celebrate all those we hold dear, be sure to enjoy the many merry and joy-filled holiday happenings going on throughout our wonderful town. Coming up on Monday, December 19th, we invite you to join us on the front steps of Town Hall as we celebrate the beginning of Hanukkah with our annual menorah lighting at 5 o'clock. Also, our free drive-through holiday light show, which has really been a big hit on the grounds of Brookwood Hall, is ongoing. Come see the dazzling lights from the cozy comfort of your car every Tuesday and Thursday throughout December, as well as some Fridays from 5 to 8 p.m. So just check the website and you'll know exactly when that is. And of course, it's free. And there are other many holiday happenings across the town that you'll find on the website. In all your comings and goings, don't forget to swing by Islip Town Hall to drop off your letters to a certain special someone at the North Pole. Santa's elves recently left a special mailbox right on the steps here at 655 Main Street. Be sure to drop your little one's letters in our official North Pole Postal Service sanctioned mailbox. Letters are shipped to the North Pole daily. Our Town of Islip Youth Bureau is still collecting for this year's holiday toy drive. Last year, hundreds of toys were distributed to children in the community. New unwrapped toys can be brought to any of our drop-off. We have 3 drop-off locations. They're listed on the website, Town Hall, the Youth Bureau office at 401, and Councilman Mullen's office in Oakdale. The continued generosity of our residents and local business truly embody what the holidays are all about, and we thank each and every one of you who participated to help spread joy to the children in need at this special time of the year. And a very, very special thank you to all the Town of Islip employees who participated in the annual Salvation Army Angel Tree program. All 60 angels that they gave us were adopted. And having seen the toys as they were piled high in my office, I know that Christmas is going to be very special for each and every one of them. And of course, as you search for those special holiday gifts, allow me to once again encourage all of you to shop local in our downtowns, our strip shopping centers. Please support our local merchants. Let us all help each other and show our appreciation for the value our local merchants bring to our community. Lastly, and speaking of local, with the new year right around the corner, and the advent of this cold weather, it's never too early to start thinking about your spring and summer vacations. In that regard, we're pleased to announce that Breeze Airways is adding one-stop service to Jacksonville, Florida, and Tampa, Florida, from our very own MacArthur Airport. Just, the code for our airport is ISP, as I'm sure most of you know, and service from Jacksonville will start late spring, and the routes from Islip to Tampa beginning later in the summer. These new destinations will offer Long Islanders even more opportunity for easy getaways accessible from right here in Islip, and from here you can go anywhere. Have a wonderful, safe, and very happy holiday. I know I speak for everyone on the town board. We wish you a holiday filled with joy and peace. And in that regard, we will move now to the town board agenda. Okay, we will begin this afternoon. We have 6 scheduled public hearings. I would ask the town clerk to please read the first hearing notice.
Yes. Today's hearing number 1 is to consider amending the Town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code regarding Schedule M and truck exclusions.
Are there any questions from the board or anyone? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to close the public hearing, offer the resolution.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Cochran. The motion being made by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Please, if you would, Madam Clerk, the second hearing notice.
Hearing number 2 today is to consider adopting Local Law Number 7 of 2022, Chapter 8, Article 2, entitled Cannabis, and amending Chapter 68 of the Town Code of Islip.
Are there any questions on this particular hearing? Hearing none.
Make a motion to close the hearing and adopt the
Motion by,
comments, though.
thank you. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. Second. By Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Madam Clerk, if you would, the third hearing notice.
Yes, hearing number 3 today is to consider enacting Local Law Number 8 of 2022, amending Local Law Number 2 of 2019, entitled Fire Prevention.
Are there any questions on this? Hearing none. Motion?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and approve the resolution.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next hearing notice 4.
Hearing number 4 today is to consider enacting Local Law Number 9 of 2022, amending Local Law Number 13 of 2009, Chapter 23A, entitled Graffiti.
Any questions? Motion?
Make a motion to close the public hearing, offer the resolution for its adoption.
We have a motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. By Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Our next hearing notice, number 5.
Is to consider entering into a contract with the fire commissioners of the Bay Shore Fire District for fire protection for the year 2023.
Any questions? Motion?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and adopt the resolution.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion is adopted. Okay, we will move now to number 6.
Okay, number 6 is a change of zone item, Madam
Right.
Supervisor, so I'll read the call of the calendar.
Please.
Okay. TC 5412, Town Board on own motion. On the proposed modifications of covenants and restrictions associated with TC 5287A to authorize the conversion of the existing mixed-use building into 2 condominium units. 1 unit consisting of the existing community center and 1 unit consisting of the existing 75 affordable senior rental apartments, which should fall within the non-homestead clause, and not the homestead clause, okay, as defined by Section 1901 of the Real Property Tax Law. The environmental impacts will be assessed on this property located in the Bay Shore School District on the northwest side of Park A and Mechanicsville, Bay Shore, New York. Islip Town Board, Town Clerk Olga Murray.
Counsel for the applicant or the property owner is in attendance. Are there any questions on this application? I know it was reviewed and it's pretty pro forma for counsel. Okay, and hearing none, the Town of Islip Planning Department is also here If you feel the need to address the board, I think everyone's pretty knowing what's going on here. It's a simple modification. So hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and adopt the resolution.
And
Need a negative deck, Mike?
does not, okay. So we have a motion by Councilwoman Mullen. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Guardone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. And I do believe that takes care of all of the public hearings. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We have a motion, well, that's not the public portion. Right. Okay, we will now move to the public portion. So just to remind everyone that you have 3 minutes. We have a number of speakers who have signed up. 3 minutes to address the board with your concerns, any comments, compliments. In the spirit of this holiday season, I would just ask everyone to please be respectful. I know sometimes you're passionate about your issues, but let's all remember that being kind to one another is a good thing. Our first speaker is Jim Schlau.
Hello, Jim Slaug, 415 Clift, Central Islip. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. This just a couple of pictures this time. They're very difficult to get. I see in the paper, which I don't like this paper, it's a liberal rag. It was in Newsday. I didn't bring my glasses. It says, they're quoting you. People don't want to see illegal rentals, unregistered vehicles, and the like. And that you're going to spend X amount of money. I can't really see this, so I have to ad lib, but it's pretty much to the point. That you're going to spend more money on code enforcement. Now, I don't know what good that's going to do, because, you know, I put in complaints that are years old, and I see very little change, if any at all. And it's really not code enforcement's fault, because the rules, there doesn't seem to be any teeth in the rules. See, around here in CI and Brentwood, there's a sort of a chronic disposition to disregard the rights of others, obviously. Is where you live and where I live in Brentwood, is that by design or is it by accident? Because when I went down the block that the Madam Supervisor lives, it's the way Central Islip was in 1968 when we moved in. Now it's flooded with cars. The houses, they're motels. And are these legal rentals? You know, I go through this over and over again. But they're getting services without paying the appropriate taxes. Some of these houses should have a dumpster that they pay for to get rid of their rubbish. Because there's 6 or 7 garbage cans in front of these houses that are filled up to the top, and then when the wind blows, forget about it. It's all over my lawn. So we have a lot of impulsive and reckless behavior around here. They're parking on the sidewalk. I've told you that already. And nothing's being done. Nothing changes. I called Newsday about it. They're useless. They don't want to cover centralize them for some reason. I think they're afraid that they'll be called racists because of what happened to the area. Open borders. That's what's causing this. I'll tell you that right now. That's all I have to say today.
Thank you, Mr. Schlau. Merry Christmas. Next speaker, Ron Roby.
Good afternoon. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a very happy and healthy holiday season.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. Also want to thank you for approving the truck exclusion roadway for Church Street. My name is Ron Roby, R-O-B-E-Y. My wife and I live at 113 Johnny's Path in Bayport. We're members of the Bayport Meadow community and also members of the greater town of Islip community, and we're pleased to be here. I'm sure Everyone is aware that the overall character and flavor of Church Street has changed radically from a commercial industrial area to primarily now a residential area. The construction over the last 15 plus years of our two communities, that's Bayport Meadow and the Parkland Court community, has made a substantial difference. As a result, we feel there should be a new mindset and perspective that is now appropriate, indeed required, when it comes to how Church Street should be utilized and protected moving forward. Our two residential neighborhoods now represent more than 350 residents, 163 homes, all of whom are now ISLIP residents, taxpayers and voters. This is overall a quality of life issue. We're concerned certainly about the use of Church Street. It's been kind of the designated cut-through of convenience between Sunrise Highway and Nichols Road. So your approval today is a critical first step in improving the overall quality of our neighborhoods as we move forward. We see issues with air pollution and noise pollution. We see issues with safety and speeding on Church Street, all types of vehicles. Church Street is being used often as a drag strip, so we would hope that we could address that issue. Moving forward, again, we thank you for your approval of this road exclusion for trucks. As I say, it was a critical first step. May we at this point present additional recommendations for your consideration and approval as to how Church Street should be further protected in the coming months and years. Again, we thank you very much for your assistance, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roby. And we certainly are pledged to work with you. Next speaker, Patricia.
I'm Patricia from Town of Islip. Just in my going overs, we have a bid for Welshback Electrical, and they won the bid for $942,000. But yet the town has been paying them well over their bid amount with no concern, no repercussions, no, let's find somebody else or whatever. A couple of months ago, it was put in to renew the lease for Welshback. Well, a FOIL was put in, and Welshback does not have a lease. After a diligent search, no documents were found. Then it's found that Welshback owns taxpayer vehicle. The vehicles that are bonded out, when you put in for a bond, they're made to look like they belong to the town with a town seal. The only thing that caught my eye was it was a regular plate. It is registered to Welshback, which means they now own it. There is also our DPW commissioner. He's driving a town car that was given and registered and owned by Welshback Electrical. I don't pay my taxes for cars to be given away. And there's at least 5 more that are town cars, taxpayer money paid. They are registered to vendors. We're now bribing vendors. Also, when I spoke to you about the home on Campbell Lane that town vehicles were used to go to, you said you were appalled. I don't know if you were going for an Emmy on acting. I'm not sure. but you were appalled. You did nothing. Town vehicles, a town tow truck. He told the guy there on Town Time, and you said, oh my God, they are abusing town time and town vehicles. Then on the corner, you did another Emmy performance. Oh, my grandson goes to Timber Point. I know that is a dangerous corner. You did nothing. So that shows us how much you feel for your family as much as you feel for the taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas. Next speaker, Robert Merman. All right, thank you. Appreciate that. You too. Thank you. Nice T-shirt. Holly Bernhard.
Hi, good afternoon, Town Board, and particularly Mary Kate, because we want to wish you all the best as you leave the Town Board. And I want to thank you on behalf of my Bayport Meadow Estates community, because you were the one who originally helped us with Church Street and getting it repaved. And we really appreciated that. Knowing full well that once Church Street was paved, it would become a speedway, which of course it has. And so I also want to thank the board for recognizing the need to limit the truck traffic on our street. It does affect the quality of our life, and it also, there are other issues that Mr. Roby brought up that we will continue to pursue and hope that we will have your help with those things as well. And I just want to say thank you again and wish everyone a happy holiday. Thank you.
Thanks, Holly. Merry Christmas. Greg Goodrich. God bless you. Next speaker, Susan Robbins. Actually, that is not the next speaker. The next speaker is Greg. Well, it might, in the interest of clarity, it might help. You come forward first. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm chairing the meeting. Oh, okay. Mr. Pepe or Greg, come forward, please. If you wish, I'm not setting you up. Excuse me, I don't know that she needs you to speak for her, that she's feeling disrespected. If she is, I'm sure she'll tell us. In the meantime, I'm feeling disrespected. I'm telling you to come up and speak. If you wish to speak, speak.
I'm here today to tell the taxpayers that we are being frauded with what was set up of the 5 ambulance districts that represent Islip. Okay, let's start off with our statement of taxes. On a separate tax line, we get to pay for their services. We're billed to have their services available to us under a tax levy. We have no choice here. We have to pay this bill in order for them to represent us. What you did, you now authorized them to bill insurance billing, okay? By insurance billing, you're using us, the taxpayers, as pawns or bait. You're baiting us on a fish hook to the insurance companies to show them, oh yes, this is formulated in order for them to pay out the bulk of the money, of the insurance money. Then we're stuck with the co-payments, but are we? Because you signed off or initialed boxes on these agreements that the town is responsible and obligated to pay our co-payments for the residents, as long as you're a resident of Islip. You foot the bill, or we foot the bill. So it's not coming out of your pocket, these co-payments. It's coming out of the taxpayers' pockets. Okay, Angie? And let me tell you right now, this is under investigation. So I'm just going to go so far with this. But the feds, as far as Medicare is concerned, you're looking at committing fraud, basically, here, all right? And you're frauding the people that are aged, sick, okay? You're taking the money out of their pockets. And Stadelman called me Friday night about 6:45 because you told him to call my house, all right? And Ron explained to me that he's going to pay back the 22-year, in other words, the contract where you initialed. But that's not good enough. He's got to go back to where it first originated, whether it be April 20th of 2020 or even before that, because there's even more concerning documents here that they signed an agreement with professional ambulance billing going back to September 2019. Okay? So when did the billing originate? Was it April of 2020, or does it go back to 2019 with this professional ambulance billing? Like Central Islip Hauppauge District started billing in 2019. All right, Angie? There's a lot of questions here, Angie. A lot of questions, and you definitely frauded the people. But it will be a Merry Christmas when he gives back the money from $20 co-payment, he told me, as much as $200 per person, per patient. Okay? This money is going to be given back to them. It should be given back with interest. And it should be backdated to April or September of either 2019 or 2020. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to all.
Thank you. I really appreciate you coming down, believe it or not, because you brought an issue forward, and I immediately called Mr. Stadelman, and I'm going to ask, and you may be seated, thank you, the controller to come forward to give us a little bit of history, of how the third-party billing came to be, because the last thing anyone, myself or the town board, is looking to do is defraud anyone, let alone seniors. Mr. Pepe, please don't shout out. You had your 3 minutes. Thank you. If you would, Joe, Mr. Controller, if you could please explain how we got to third-party billing. This was not an initiation started with the town.
So, for starters, Joseph Ludwig, Controller for the Town of Islip, 401 Main Street. Simplistically put, we stole the idea from Huntington. Huntington has 2 ambulance districts. I don't know when they started the insurance billing, but over the course of 3 or 4 years, they were basically able to eliminate the tax levy, more or less. I think they knocked 80% out of the tax levy. And ultimately, that's the long-term goal that we have here. So once we knew we had that ability...
Okay, so just stop there. So the ambulance companies who are funded by taxpayer dollars in their particular ambulance district came to the town in the interest of trying to reduce those fees and said, allow us to do third-party insurance billing. Because more times than not, when the ambulance company came to someone's home to transport them, people were pulling out their insurance card expecting that it would go on their insurance. Is that correct?
That's my understanding. And again, to be simplistic, I say we stole it from Huntington. CI Hauppauge was the first ambulance district that we have that started the billing. And the reason why they were first is because they also work in Huntington. So they were already doing the insurance billing up in Huntington. They were the ones who came to us to float the idea, to start the insurance billing. Just like it is in the firematic services, there's always more expenses that we can't give within the tax levies that we have to deal with. So this became an untapped source of revenue for them to start to make up for the things that they had to go without. Like I said, and the way it's worked in Huntington is that we're expecting that it's going to have the same impact here, where the tax levy is going to be almost all but eliminated. We can't say eliminated, but in theory, the majority of it will not have to be on the tax bill anymore. So ultimately, the residents will get that break.
Okay. So to the idea or the issue of co-payments,
Yes.
It was my understanding that when the ambulance company first approached us and we gathered all of the companies in the town so that there could be unanimity, we were told that no one, if they didn't have insurance, would be impacted, if they had insurance and they were billed, they should ignore the bill, and that they were not going to get any dunning notices, and that at no time would anyone's credit ever be affected.
That is what we were told at that
Okay.
original kickoff meeting. The attorney who held that meeting has now seemed to have changed his stance a little bit. So what we were told was that you had to bill, you had to send out a second bill. That was called soft billing. There was no requirement to do anything after the second bill went out. That's what we were told by the attorney, and that's the way we proceeded at the time.
Okay. So to the point of this nefarious kind of initiative on our part to defraud the public, that's not what's happening, folks. That's not what's happening. Thank you. Yes, please.
Joe, you and I discussed the ambulance billing years ago, I think. Do only the town of Islip residents get transported by ambulance companies?
I'm sure anybody who needs the need for an ambulance, whether they're an ISIP resident or not, would get transported by community ambulance, Bay Shore, Brightwaters, whichever district you happen to be
So
in.
non-residents take advantage of the services, but they don't pay for them because they're not paying taxes, correct?
Correct. So that's why ideally, if you have
How do you bill a
insurance-
non-resident for a service they use when you're not collecting any tax dollars from them? Let me give you a better example. For example, community ambulance, which is the ambulance area where I live. They service the Fire Island communities when somebody is transported from Fire Island to the boat ramp at Timber Point Golf Course. And they transport those people. Oftentimes, Fire Island, not a town of Islip resident.
Right.
So the only way to recapture any sort of compensation for those services would be to bill the non-resident. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thanks.
Okay, any other questions for Joe? Don't go too far. Thank you. And Susan Robbins, if you're willing to come forward. Thank you.
My name is Susan Robbins. I'm one of the vice presidents at Exchange Ambulance of the Islips at 190 Carlton Avenue, East Islip. Good afternoon, Supervisor Carpenter and Islip Town Council. Exchange Ambulance has recently been made aware that our 2022 contract with the town of Islip has a provision for the town to pay the copay or co-insurance of town of Islip residents transported by Exchange Ambulance. In error, Exchange Ambulance has billed town residents this fee. The copays or co-insurance for residents who paid these charges in 2022 will be refunded automatically over the next few weeks by Exchange Ambulance. No action on the part of any resident is required. This will happen automatically. It should be noted that this option for the town to pay the copays or co-insurance was only present on the 2022 contract and does not impact any previous years. It should also be noted that this only includes copays and co-insurance and does not include deductibles. Thank you all for your time and happy holidays.
Thank you, Susan. And I appreciate the clarification. And Mr. Pepe, I wasn't looking to submarine you. I was really just trying to bring some clarity to this situation. Guess what? We're human beings, and it sounds like someone may have made a mistake, and they're going to rectify it. And we thank Exchange Ambulance for that. We thank the members of the ambulance company for being there for our community 24/7. We can't thank them enough for what they do. We will, do I have a motion? And
motion
we
to
have
close
no
the public
other
portion.
speakers. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? The public portion is closed. We will move now to the agenda. First item on the agenda, meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. John Walzer, if you would, please. As you're getting ready to start, John, I was just reminded, if anyone didn't hear, Mike, actually, the ambulance billing started in Nassau County, and many, many localities upstate are doing it or have been doing it for years. John, you ready?
Yes, thank you. Do
Okay.
you have a motion to convene the meeting?
Yeah, we do. We have a motion to convene the meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned, a quorum being present.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and members of the agency board. John Walzer, Executive Director, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip, New York. I have several items for your consideration today. The first item is to approve the minutes from our last board meeting on November 15th of this year.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Okay, the next item for your consideration is an authorizing resolution for Galil Importing Corporation, which we induced at last month's meeting. This is an expansion of a food importer and distributor at 21 Newton Place in Hauppauge.
Any questions on this? You have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second. Second. By Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Okay, the next item for your consideration is an inducement authorizing resolution for Naka Technologies at 201 Creative Drive in Central Islip. This is a relocation and expansion of a technology company and represents a $4.5 million capital investment, the retention of 35 jobs, and the creation of 20 new jobs.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
The next item for your consideration is an authorizing resolution for Basilico Materials East on Furrows Road in Holbrook. This project was induced at the August meeting and involves the modernization of an asphalt plant and recycling facility.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Thank you. The next item for your consideration is a resolution consenting to a sublease at 1401 Lakeland Avenue in Bohemia to Brickett Corporation, a manufacturer of thin brick tiles.
Questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Okay, and the last,
I'm sorry.
Can I just ask a point of order?
Sure.
Could we go back to number 2? I apologize. I know we've already made the motion and taken the vote. I notice, probably through no fault of anybody, just because of the technology issues we've been having in the town, I don't have the minutes from the last meeting.
are you talking about Galil Importing?
No.
The minutes.
Item number 2,
The-
approving the minutes.
The minutes of
Okay.
last month's
November
meeting.
15th meeting. Perhaps we could move that item to January's organization.
Okay, so we'll make a motion to reconsider item 2 on the agenda, and have a motion by Councilman O'Connor. I'll second that motion to reconsider the adoption of the approval of the minutes, and we will hold that over to the January meeting. All those in favor?
Sorry to be a pest.
Not a problem. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. We will then continue with, I guess we're up to 7.
Yes, the last item I have for your consideration is an inducement resolution between the agency and Euro Pastry USA Incorporated, located at 2001 Orville Drive North in Ronkonkoma. This project involves a $5 million capital investment to expand the manufacturing capacity at this facility, where various bread products are produced, the retention of over 150 jobs, and the creation of 5 new jobs.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Is there any other business to come before us?
I have no other business. for you
Hearing
today.
none, motion to adjourn, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, meeting with the Town of Islip Resource Recovery Agency, motion to convene. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor, opposed, we are convened, a quorum being present. Marty, good to see you.
Madam Chair, members of the agency board, Martin Bellew, President of the Islip Resource Recovery Agency, 401 Main Street, Islip, New York. I have several items for consideration today. First of which is the approval of the minutes for the November 15, 2022 agency board meeting.
Are there any questions on the minutes? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, approved.
Next item is a resolution authorizing a professional services agreement between the agency and HDR Architectural and Engineering PC to provide technical support to the Islip Resource Recovery Agency MacArthur Waste to Energy Facility Technical Feasibility Study.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, it is approved.
Next item is a resolution authorizing the president to enter into a contract amendment and contract IRRA 2016-7 between the agency and Lockwood, Kessler, and Bartlett, Inc., also known as LKB, to provide professional engineering design services related to the Phase 3 design and construction of the Blydenburg landfill.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Guadron, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor, opposed, approved.
Next item is a resolution authorizing the president to enter into a contract between the agency and Envirotech Leasing and Rental Corp. for the loading and transport of landfill leachate to in-county permitted disposal facilities from the Blydenburg Road landfill complex for the years 2023 and 2024, and one additional two-year option, and another two-year option by mutually agreed-upon proposal.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen. Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion is adopted.
Next item, and the last item actually, is a resolution authorizing the execution of a management services agreement for the year 2023 between the Islip Resource Recovery Agency and the town of Islip for the provision of solid waste support systems in the town of Islip.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Any other business? There is no other business. We will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Councilman Guadron, second
Second.
by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned.
Happy holidays to
Thank you. Thank you so much. Next item on the agenda, authorization for supervisor to enter into a license agreement with Blue Point Oysters and the Pops Pearls LLC for one parcel of town-owned bay bottom land for the purpose of shellfish cultivation on the Great South Bay. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. That is 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion is adopted. Item 4, authorization for the Town of Islip Animal Shelter and Adopt a Pet Center to accept monetary and non-monetary gifts, including gifts of services from the public and/or businesses for the calendar year 2023. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 5, authorization for the supervisor to execute a management services agreement for 2023 with the Town of Islip Resource Recovery Agency for the provision of solid waste support systems in the Town of Islip. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Guadron, second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 6, Town Board approval to adopt the negative declaration in connection with the Blydenburg landfill complex and authorization for the supervisor to execute the same. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Next item on the agenda are the bid awards. I know everyone's had an opportunity to review. Are there any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 8, the option year resolutions. Likewise, we've reviewed them. Are there any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second.
Second.
By Councilman Cochran. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 9, authorization for supervisor to exercise the option to renew its agreement with Calais America for the second one-year extension through 2023. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 10, authorization with the controller to make any and all budgetary adjustments deemed necessary to reconcile and close the books for the fiscal year ending December 31, 2022. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second. By Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 11, Town Board authorization to clean up or secure certain properties in the town of Islip. We have a few before us today, and Jeff, if you will, run us through this.
Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, members of the Town Board, and the Town Clerk. Jeffrey Panache, Assistant Town Attorney, 655 Main Street, Islip, New York. I do have 4 matters on for your consideration here today. Number 1, to board and clean up the premises located at 19 Mariana Place in East Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists an unsecured front porch, as well as an unsecured rear decking, high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Thank you. We've had this one before us. This seems to be a repeat offender, and thank you for your efforts. Are there any questions? Motion?
Somebody's here.
Did you fill out a card to speak? Okay. But the public portion's been closed, so I'm not quite sure. Yeah? And? Well, we have the resolution before us. We're not going to be, it is the holiday season. There is a little bit of backlog, so I don't see us running to do this tomorrow. I would suggest that you guys get yourselves together and do what you need to do, but we're going to approve this motion today. All right? I have a motion?
Motion.
By Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 2, to clean up the premises located at 22 Andrew Avenue in Islip Terrace. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing is provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Thank you. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. Number 3 has been withdrawn as it is now in compliance. Number 4, to clean up the premises located at 97 Pardee Avenue in Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris. Constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Are there any questions? Okay. Well, I suggest you do that as quickly as you can. You heard what I said. We're not going to be going there tomorrow, but we are going to approve it today. This is not, this is not a new situation. We've been there before. Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. By Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. That appears to be all of it.
That's all I have for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good holiday.
You too. Next item on the agenda is item number 12, an agreement for the supervisors to execute a personal services agreement with Mike Sininsky to assist the assessor's office in any transition to a new system platform and train employees to use the software. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second.
Second.
By Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 13, authorization to supervise to execute another personal services agreement to assist the assessor's office in any transition to a new system platform and train employees to use the software. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 14, authorization of supervisor to apply for and accept grant funding from the Suffolk County Office of the Aging for reimbursement of elderly transportation services and execute any documents necessary for the funding of an essential transportation program in the town of Islip. Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 15, authorization for the supervisor to enter into agreements with up to 10 individuals to provide housekeeping services and to receive the required training hours for the ISIP program. Any questions? Motion? By Councilman Mullen, second. By Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 16, authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept funding from the Suffolk County Office for the Aging for the purpose of providing continued funding for a nutrition program to senior citizen residents in the town of Islip. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. By Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 17, authorization for supervisor to apply for and accept funding from the Suffolk County Office for the Aging for a residential repair program. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 18, authorization for supervisor to enter into various agreements for programs or events to be held throughout the town to be funded either by registration or grant funds. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran. Second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 18, we just did. We're up to 19, authorization for supervisor to apply for and accept funding from the Suffolk County Office of the Aging for a shopping assistance program. This is really very helpful to some of our homebound seniors especially. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 20, authorization for the supervisor to execute a vehicle lease renewal with the Suffolk County Office for the Aging for a 2008 14-passenger Ford for the purpose of providing continued transportation to the senior citizen residents of the town of Islip. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. By Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 21, authorization for supervisor to execute a contract extension with Vincent Serino to provide golf professional services at Gull Haven Golf Club. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved, and golf season can't come soon enough. Item 22, authorization for supervisor to enter into a professional services agreement with M&J Engineering, PC, for design and construction management services for the Central Islip Downtown Revitalization C-1001-606 Enhanced Pedestrian Experience. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? This is very exciting that the DRI project that we were able to secure, that $10 million, is moving along. We had that little 2-year hiccup with COVID, but things are finally moving. Item 23, authorization for the supervisor to enter into a contract with Louis Barbado Landscaping, Inc., the lowest responsible bidder for 2022-2024 townwide street trees, contract number DPD 3-22. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. By Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Town Board approval of the appointment of Randy E. Alcaron, ESQ, to serve as a parking violations hearing officer and enter into an agreement for the same. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Town Board approval for the appointment of Michael Siglio Esquire to serve as a parking violations hearing officer and enter into an agreement for the same. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guardron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 26, authorization for the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary for the awarding of the electrical contracting contract to Commander Electric in connection with Phase 2 of the rehabilitation of the main terminal building at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion is approved. Item 27, acceptance of a donation of 4 shuttle buses from Parco to be used at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, Cochran, I apologize. Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 28, authorization for the supervisor to execute a change order increasing the amount with VHM Plumbing and Heating Contractors, Inc. in connection with the Hangar 1 fire sprinkler upgrade at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 29, authorization for the supervisor to execute a 4th amendment to the amended and restated concession agreement with Parco. Any questions? Motion? By Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 30, authorization for the supervisor to execute a contract with Metro Environmental Services, LLC, for DPW 2-2023, repair of fuel pumps at various locations in the town of Islip. Are there any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guardron. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 31, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing amending Islip Town Code, Chapter 68, entitled Zoning. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 32, authorization for the town clerk to advertise a public hearing amending the Islip Town Code, Chapter 39, entitled Peddlers. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Guardron, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. And before we adjourn, I would just ask Councilman Mullen if you would come to the podium along with the rest of the town board. So as we heard earlier, it's a bittersweet day. Very exciting for the councilwoman who is going on to represent the town of Islip as a district court judge. She'll be on the bench. We will miss her here. But in recognition of her many, many years of devoted service as a councilperson, a member of this town board, who's worked really very hard in a very bipartisan, caring way, we thank you for your service. We're going to miss you, but we have a citation for you. Have you seen these before?
Supervisor of the town board and everyone here in the town of Islip. You guys, you really do an amazing job, and it's been my privilege to serve for the last 7 years, and it's been such a great experience that I'm sad to go, but you know, I'm on to other things in my career, and thank you all for your support, and I'll miss you all.
We will miss you, and thank you for your service, really. Thank you. Yes. Not the holder. Come on, we are watching those taxpayer dollars at every turn, believe me. If there is no other business to come before us, just want to wish everyone an absolutely wonderful, wonderful, happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. We'll see you at the menorah lighting on Monday. Thank you so much. Motion to adjourn by Councilman Cochran, second. Second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, we stand adjourned. Thank you.